Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, ma'am, classmates. I am Rasmia Pandi, teammate of Nasruddin Gampong. So now, my topic for today is about client-centered therapy, cognitive therapy, behavior therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, and systematic desensitization. Okay, my first topic is about client-centered therapy. Client-centered therapy or person-centered therapy is non-directive approach to talk therapy. It requires the client to actively take the reins during each therapy session, while the therapy acts merely as a guide or source of support for the client. Person-centered therapy allows the client to steer the ship. That is the example, okay? Di ba nasabi dito na yung this therapy, client-centered therapy ay isang didirektiba na diskarte sa talk therapy. Kinailangan ito sa kliyente ng aktibong kunin ang reins sa bawat session ng therapy. Habang ang therapy ang pangunahing gumaganap bilang gabay o mapagkukunan ng suporta para sa kliyente. What I know is this therapy, the ones who will share, who will talk is the client, and the therapist was the one who listens. Parang nag-support lang siya sa lahat ng ina-share ng kliyente niya. Nasasabi din na person-centered therapy allows the client to steer the ship. That's what I said. Kapag ang captain is the therapist. The therapist, nasa ship sila. Then, the client is the one who knows kung saan ang tamang daan patungo sa patutunguhan nila. Client-centered therapy operates according to the three basic principles that reflect the attitude of the therapist of the client. Number 1, the therapist is congruent with the client. Ang therapist daw ay inaayunan ang kliyente, na ayon sa kliyente. Para bang naghahanap ng yung kliyente ng mapagsasabihan, mapagkukonfessan ng kanyang mga damdamin. The therapist provides the client with unconditional positive regard. Binibigyan ng therapist ang kliyente ng walang kondisyon, positibong paggalang. The therapist shows an empathetic understanding to the client. Sinasabi dito na ipinapakita dapat ng therapist ay yung nauunawaan niya yung kanyang kliyente. Second is Carl Rogers, 1902 to 1987, was humanistic psychologist who agreed with the main assumptions of Abraham Maslow. However, Rogers, 1959, added that for a person to grow, they need an environment that provides them with genuineness of acceptance and empathy. That's what I said a while ago. Without this, the relationship and healthy personalities will not develop as they should. Much like a tree will not grow without sunlight and water. Yes, the client is the tree, and the water and the sunlight is the therapy. Without those therapies, the client who can't move on to what is happening to him or her. Rogers believed that every person could achieve their goals, wishes, and desires in their life when, or rather if they did so, self-actualization took place. Naniniwala si Rogers na ang bawat tao ay makakamit ang kanilang mga layunin, kagustuhan at hangarin sa buhay. This one of Carl Rogers' important contribution. This was one of Carl Rogers' most important contributions to psychology, and for a person to reach their potential, number factors must be satisfied. Rogers identified 5 characteristics of the fully functioning person. Parang robot na maganda yung paggana. Pero just imagining na parang ganun yung sinasabi niya ba. Open to experience both positive and negative emotions accepted. Negative feelings are not denied but worked through, rather than resorting to ego defense mechanism. Parehong positibo at negatibong emosyon ang tinatanggap. Ang mga negatibong damdamin ay hindi tinatanggihan, ngunit ito'y nagtagumpayan. Existential living, in touch with different experiences as they occur in life, avoiding or judging and preconception. Being able to live and fully appreciate the present, not always looking back to the past or forward to the future. Sa pagkikipag-unayan sa iba't ibang mga karanasan habang nangyayari ang mga ito sa buhay, pag-iwas o paghatol at preconception sa kasalukuyan, hindi palaging lumilingon sa nakaraan o pagsulong sa hinaharap. Trust feelings, feeling instincts and gut reaction are paid attention and trusted. People's own decisions are right ones. We should trust ourselves to make the right choices. Diba, when we do something, we trust our feelings. Ito yung gagawin ko sa aking anak kasi itong alam kong makakabuti sa kanya. Parang ganun. Creativity. Creative thinking and risk-taking are features of a person's life. A person does not play safe all the time. This involves the ability to adjust and change and seek new experience. Ang malikhaing pag-iisip daw ay tampok sa buhay ng isang tao. Ang taong hindi laging playing safe sa lahat ng oras. Kabilang dito ang mga kakayahang mag-adjust at magbago at maghanap ng bagong karanasan. Number 5 is fulfilled life. Yung taong kontento na siguro ito sa kung anong meron siya. Satisfied. A person is happy and satisfied with life and always willing to look for new challenges and experience. Ito yung taong laging positive. Parang ganon. Client-centered therapy are increased self-esteem and openness to experience. Client-centered therapy work to help clients head full times of self-understanding and reduce defensiveness, guilt, and insecurity. Ang layon ng client-centered therapy ay pataasin ang mga pagpapahalaga sa sarili at bukas sa mga karanasan. Ang client-centered therapist ay nagtatrabaho upang tulungan ang kliyente na matungo sa buong oras ng pag-unawa sa sarili at bawasan ang pagtatanggol sa hindi naman dapat, pagkakasala at kawalan ng kapanatagan sa sarili. My next topic is cognitive therapy. Cognitive therapy, relatively short-term form of psychotherapy based on the concept that the way we think about things affects how we feel emotionally. Cognitive therapy focuses on present thinking behavior and is oriented towards problem solving. Cognitive therapy ay medyo pinaikling term ng psychotherapy batay sa konsepto na ang paraan ng pag-iisip natin tungkol sa mga bagay ay nakakaapekto sa ating damdamin. Ang cognitive therapy ay nakatuon sa kasalukuyang pag-iisip, pag-uugali, at pag-uugali ay nakatuon sa paglutas ng problema. Cognitive therapy is a form of talk therapy. It is effective to a whole range of problems. The cognitive therapy is that the way the people think about things influence how they feel emotionally and what they do behaviorally. And when are in psychological stress, often their thinking is just not realistic or accurate and not helpful. Cognitive therapy helping people identify that thinking that's leading them to feel so distressed or the action ways that they are helping them. Activity scheduling, branded exposure practices, mindfulness practices, skills training, cognitive restricting. Parang these are the ways that we will do while doing cognitive therapy. Activity scheduling, yung pag-i-schedule ng mga activities. Branded exposure practices, kasanayan sa mga practices. Kasanayan sa parang pag-exposure ba, parang paglalantad, ganun. Mindfulness practices, mga kasanayan sa pag-iisip. Skills training, pagsasanay. Cognitive restricting. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is talking therapy that can help you manage your problem by changing the way you think and behave. It is commonly used to treat anxiety and depression, but can be useful for other mental and physical health problems. Ang cognitive behavioral therapy ay isang talking therapy na makakatulong sa iyong pamahalaan ang problema sa pamamagitan ng pagbabago sa paraan ng iyong pag-iisip at pag-uugali. Ito yung karaniwang ginagamit upang gamitin ang pagkabalisa at depression, ngunit maaaring maging kapaki-pakinabang para sa iba pang mga problema sa kalusugan ng isip at pisikal. What I know to this is parang chine-change niya yung mindset mo, yung about sa, di ba, my example is when you broke up with your boyfriend, di ba, you cry so much, you wanted to be alone, and then you feel like you don't, wala nang magmamahal sa'yo. Ganun yun. But, ang ginagawa ng cognitive behavioral therapy is parang sinasabi niya sa sarili mo na kahit na gi-broke up ka ng pinakamamahal mong boyfriend, you have your family that who loves you so much. Your friends are there to have bond with you all the time. This is an example of exposing yourself to situation that causes anxiety, like going into a crowded public space, journaling about your thoughts throughout the day, and recording feelings about your thoughts. Oo. This is some example. Types of cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy that we tackled a while ago. Dialectical behavior therapy. Dialectical behavioral therapy. Some children are abused, bullied, traumatized, or neglected either physically or emotionally. When people is facing like this early in life, coping with stress can feel nearly possible. Dialectical behavior therapy as an evidence-based treatment that addresses people's ideas about themselves, their world, their emotional pain, and how they cope of feeling upset. DBT has been showing to be an effective way to help people understand and experience their painful thoughts and feelings. But with DBT, that pattern can change and young people can change and can develop thoughts and behaviors. Once they are in safety, new choice improve relations and most of relationships. Multimodal therapy. What I know in multimodal therapy is ano yun? Multimodal therapy is a form of psychotherapy developed by Dr. Arnold Lazarus. It focuses on reducing psychological suffering and promoting personal growth as rapidly as possible. Multimodal therapy based on the idea that humans are biological beings that think, feel, act, sense, imagine, and interact. Ang multimodal therapy ay isang anyong psychotherapy na binuo ni Dr. Arnold Lazarus. Nakatuon ito sa pagbabawas ng psychological na pagdurusa at pagtatagoy ng personal na paglago ng mabilis hanggat maaari. Ang multimodal therapy batay sa ideya na ang mga tao ang biological na nilalang na nag-iisip, nakadarama, nag-iisip at nakikipag-ugnayan. Multimodal has an acronym which is the basic ID. The B stands for behavior, habits, responses, and reaction that be observed and measured. Just like of yung parang yung loss of work, ability to work, and pouting. And A stands for affect, the variety of emotions and mood. It includes feeling helpless and anger. Multimodal therapy incorporates all elements of our personality rather than restricting therapy to one or two dimensions. S stands for sensation. This includes our basic senses, our hearing, touch. It includes dizziness and hallucinations. I stands for imaginary. It is our ability to visualize, imagine, and think in pictures like you are thinking your crush. Yes, and you are imagining what is his face. And C stands for cognition. It includes our thought, ideas, values, and opinions. These are the clients that think all the negative thoughts of herself, thinking that that he is a loser. I stands for interpersonal relationship. How we relate to others. Clients are being lonely, isolating herself from her friends, or having a bad temper to a child. D stands for drugs or biological includes our physical bodies, health, behavior, and medical matters. Clients are sleep a lot, lacks of appetite, does not exercise, and using marijuana daily. This category is important because all of the other modalities exist in a psychological context. Number 4, rational emotive behavior therapy or REBT is a type of therapy introduced by Albert Ellis in the 1950s. It's an approach that helps you identify irrational beliefs and negative thought patterns that may lead to emotional and behavioral issues. Ang rational emotive therapy ay isang uri ng therapy na ipinakikilala ni Albert Ellis noong 1950s. Isa itong diskarte na tumutukoy sa iyo matukoy ang mga hindi makatwiran na paniniwala at negatibong mga paraan ng pag-iisip na maaaring humantong sa mga issue sa emotional o asal ng tao. Example, ang belief na sinasabi is, there's a man that is believing that he would be happier if he avoid the life difficulties or challenges. Ganun. Another example is, a man is upset because his in-laws does not like him. The rational emotive behavior therapy by identify what his irrational belief of getting upset because of his in-laws. Also, the counselor can explain the main it was not realistic to expect from others to always think as we want. It's okay that they don't like us. Clients are also encouraged to change unwanted behavior as using things as meditation, journaling, and guided imagery. Another example is yung when you were having an examination, then you are failed. You're thinking that you are stupid. Yes, because you had a failed examination. But in rational emotive behavior therapy, what we will do is example, nag-exam ka, mababa ang score mo. Ang gagawin ng rational, lang iisipin mo, magsa-study na lang ako ulit, babawi na lang ako next time. Ganun yung mangyayari dapat. Behavior therapy definition is an umbrella term for types of therapy that treat mental health disorders. This form of therapy looks to identify a help change potentially self-destructive or unhealthy behaviors. It's based on the idea that all behavior are learned and that behavior can be changed. Ang isang termino para sa mga uri ng therapy na gumagamit sa mga sakit sa pag-iisip. Ang paraan ng therapy na ito ay naghahanap upang matukoy ang isang tulong na baguhin ang potensyal na mapanira sa sarili o hindi kaaya-aya na pag-uugali. Ito'y batay sa ideya na ang lahat ng pag-uugali ay natututunan at ang pag-uugali ay maaaring baguhin. Next is systematic desensitization. Systematic desensitization is a type of exposure therapy based on the principle of classical conditioning. It was developed by Joseph Wolf during 1950s. This therapy aims to remove the fear response of a phobia and substitute a relaxation response to the conditioning stimulus, gradually using counter-conditioning. A desensitization hierarchy is constructed, and the patient works their way through visualizing each anxiety-provoking event while engaging in the relaxation response. The number of sessions required depends on the severity of the phobia. Usually, 4 or 6 sessions, up to 12 for a severe phobia. The therapy is complete once the agreed therapeutic goals are met. Ang pagkakaalam ko sa systematic desensitization is yung ini-expose ka sa kinatatakutan mo like a snake. Diba? Some of us are scared on snakes. Diba? Natatakot tayo sa snake. We are snakes. We are fear. We are fear of snakes. So, ang ginagawa ng systematic desensitization is ini-expose ka doon sa kinakatakutan mo ng step by step. The first step is imagining. Yan. The second step is imagining that pumupunta siya sa tabi mo. There are several steps. Some people na natatakot is having 3R 3R steps, that is retreat, recover, repeat. When you say retreat, kung nasa 4th step na siya, bumabalik siyang pababa dahil yung phobia niya ba is lumalakas yung anxiety niya sa kinatatakutan niya. Then after that, the retreat, recover. Sa recover siguro dito na sinasabi yung relaxation, pag-relax, pag-recover, and then when you recover, you will repeat the step by step na systematic desensitization, step by step na pagharap, pag-expose mo sa kinatatakutan mo. May mga iba nga naman na ganyan ang nangyayari. They were doing systematic desensitization na ulit lang sila ng paulit until nasasanay na sila. That's what I have learned in systematic desensitization. Systematic desensitization therapy is a type of behavioral therapy used to treat anxiety disorders, post-traumatic stress disorders, phobias, and fear of things. Yan, yung systematic desensitization daw ay ang mga nagagamutan nito ay mga anxiety disorders, post-traumatic stress disorders, phobias, and yung mga fear of things. Cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a type of psychotherapeutic treatment that helps people learn how to identify and change destructive or disturbing thoughts patterns that have a negative influence on behavior and emotions. Cognitive behavioral therapy focuses on changing the automatic negative thoughts that can be contribute to and worsen emotional difficulties, depression, and anxiety. These spontaneous negative thoughts have a detrimental influence on mood. Through CBT, these thoughts are identified, challenged, and replaced with more objective, realistic thoughts. Ito yung sinasabi ko na yung cognitive behavioral therapy is parang yung mga naiisip mo ay nati-change to positive. Parang ganun yung nangyayari. Cognitive behavioral therapy daw ay nakatuon sa pagpalit ng mga negatibong mga sinasabi na nabibilang at nadadagdagan, nagiging malala yung mga emosyon nyo na parte rin ng pagkakaroon ng depression at anxiety. These spontaneous negative thoughts have a detrimental influence on mood. Dahil daw dito sa mga negative thoughts, yung moods natin naiimpluwensyahan tapos nag-iiba. Yun. Through CBT, these thoughts are identified. Dahil daw sa CBT, nalaman ang mga sinasabi or mga signs na mayroon tayong some of the mental disorders. They were replaced with more objective, realistic thoughts. Pinapalitan daw ito ng mas tama at mas totoong mga dapat nating maging emosyon. So that's all po. Thank you.